Yeah, there's a lot of revisionist history, including today at the White House press briefing, there was something to the effect of saying we weren't the party that wanted to lock down. I mean, I remember a guy in a basement for more than a year who was locked down in a basement, so it's not true again. But on the subject of lockdowns, a big study out this week that the leftist press is ignoring. Johns Hopkins University did a meta-study of 34 studies and found the lockdowns had little to no public health effects. And I remember one of the first times I met you, Governor, I'm in D.C. in the swamp surrounded by bureaucrats like Dr. Fauci who are demanding lockdown, lockdown, lockdown. And I met this governor down in Florida a few months after that, and he was talking about how lockdowns don't work. And it seems like you were kind of vindicated by Johns Hopkins.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at kind of the view, I mean, the open states, like Florida, we have, the Michigans, New York, New Jersey, lockdown states, higher per capita mortality for COVID, even though we have the oldest population. But then you have some other states where if you compare like California to Florida, age-adjusted COVID mortality were about the same. They have lower overall COVID mortality rate because they're a much younger state. But they actually have more excess mortality. So you take the COVID deaths are part of that, but why do they have more excess mortality than Florida? Because they have lockdown deaths. Lockdowns absolutely had a negative public health effect on people, and certainly people who are by and large not terribly at risk from COVID. And so there was never any discussion about that. And so I remember summer of 2020, South, we have a summer season. It goes up, it peaks, it starts coming down, and I knew that because I'm following the data. Fauci, he called for Florida to lock down after the infection peak. Well, why the hell would you do that? And so that's what these people were doing. But I think I look back at kind of lockdowns. It was supposed to be 15 days to slow the spread. The idea was, let's get PPE, let's make sure the hospitals have staffing, if you need to have more beds, all this. Now, these epidemiological models were totally wrong, and those people should be held accountable for that. But it was viewed as a temporary thing. Then as we get into April 2020, Fauci's saying, well, lockdown until there's no cases or no deaths. Well, that's not possible to have no cases with an airborne respiratory virus. And so that would mean perpetual lockdowns. And so that was totally unacceptable. But throughout that whole period of time, it was like all these people criticizing Florida for being open. It's interesting. Governors who criticize Florida and lock down their state always seem to find a way to get down to our state in Florida to escape their own policies. Big city mayors. Big city mayors. And I'll tell you, and anchor some of these leftist TV hosts who constantly criticize Florida, mandate masks, lock down, all this stuff. Then they end up on the beach somewhere in South Florida. I'll tell you, one of the things I'm proud, though, is like our Floridians, they give these people hell when they see them down here because they're proud of our freedom, and they know these people have been bad-mouthing. The cherry on the sundae was when you had over New Year's, you had AOC coming down, criticizing Florida, then comes down. So we decided to make kind of a little joke about it. So we created T-shirts that said, Escape to Florida, the Lockdown Liberal Tour. And instead of having concert dates on the back, we had Governor Whitmer, March of 2021, AOC, and the dates they were all in Florida. And we sold more outside the state than we sold here because people realize how hypocritical these people are.